Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. I'm Vinny Motiwala, with me Shell D'Souza as well. Shell, a very good afternoon to you and a happy Friday. Market's also cheering today that it's Friday. Recovered from the day's lowest point on a good recovery from the day.
Absolutely, Vinny. If you look at the markets, very firm footing actually coming in for the markets. 1.5% uptick right now for the Nifty, and we're just climbing away, heading towards that 25,000 mark for the Nifty. Nifty Bank also, which was underperforming the benchmark indices, has actually seen a good and a smart recovery creep in as well. So you have Nifty Bank also that's actually at the day's highest point, 0.5% uptick coming in for a Nifty Bank. Broader markets have been moving in tandem with the benchmark indices actually with the same gusto. IT index, metal index are some of the notable indices that are seeing very sharp up move in trade today. So that's the way how the markets are looking like at this point in time. Shrishti, a very firm up move. I beg your pardon, sorry, Vinny, not Shrishti. Firm up move coming in for the markets right now, Vinny.
Absolutely, but let's move on and get started with all the stocks that have been buzzing in trade on the back of news flows and technicals. And on the technicals, we do have Ruchit Jain joining in with us, while from the research team, we have Jinay as well as Ankita joining in with us. A very good afternoon to all three of you all as well. And let me start with the first stock that we should be highlighting. Actually, the banking space, when you look at it, that is in focus today. Now, why? Because there was a circular that came in from a draft proposal, actually, that came in from the RBI last evening in terms of the LCR. And now what they're saying is that why is this impact coming in? This is on the liquidity coverage ratio norms. Now, the impact is on these banks because the bank asset mix that is supposed to be will now move more towards the low yielding assets and will lead to a decline in terms of the yield on assets by 1.5% to 2% decline, which could indirectly mean around a 8 to 10 basis point decline in the NIMs of these banks, and this could prompt banks to further increase spreads and move in a very similar to a rate hike, and that's what we're watching out for. Now, most of this in terms of the brokerage notes that have come in also this morning, and consensus come in that Federal Bank as well as IDFC's First Bank will be the most impacted, because banks are supposed to maintain 100% at least in terms of the coverage that they have, and that for Federal Bank as well as IDFC First Bank, according to reports, is a bit lower. So yes, most of the impact is expected from this, and it's a consensus because Morgan Stanley, Investec, and even Jefferies, all of them have highlighted these three banks, at least keeping an eye out on Federal Bank down 3%.
All right, so that is Federal Bank seeing a very strong up move in trade today actually. Downtick in trade today. But let's talk about Indus Towers then, and that particular counter is in focus, is hit a near 8-year high on an intraday basis. And one of the reasons being is the fact that the stock or rather the company has informed the exchanges that there's going to be a board meet. So on back of that, if you look at the stock price movement on an intraday basis, it hit an highest level since October 2017. It's gained for a second consecutive week in a row. They said that they will be meeting on July 30th, and this in order to consider buyback of shares, though it did not divulge more details. But Indus Towers definitely seeing good up move in trade today on back of that.
Okay, then keeping it with the telecom side, and Ruchit, good afternoon. The first stock you've picked out for us today is Bharti Airtel. When you look at it in terms of last 6 months, around a 30% return is what the stock has managed to give. So a good up move, and even in the last 1 year, we have seen a good up move for the stock. What is it that you're expecting now for Bharti Airtel?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon to all of you. This stock has been an uptrend. In fact, we have seen that any kind of declines that have been seen in this entire uptrend, they have been got bought into. Now, last 15-20 days, the stock was consolidating in a range, but this entire consolidation, the prices have not breached its 40-day exponential moving average support, which and hence this entire consolidation just seemed to be a time-wise correction within an uptrend. Now, today it seems that it has resumed its uptrend, so the stock could head towards new highs again. Now, the support base of this moving average is now around 1420 to 1440 range. So till the support is intact, I think that the stock has resumed its uptrend, and it may be heading towards new life high in the short term.
Right, so that is all about Bharti Airtel then. Ankita, let's talk about Tech Mahindra, another one that's an earnings candidate, came up with his earnings yesterday post-market hours. How were the numbers? What are brokerages saying?
Well, absolutely. Tech M is an earnings candidate. In fact, the share dipped almost 6% today after the results came out, and also the brokerages adopt a wait and watch stance for the company. In fact, Nuvama also expressed concerns about the ongoing challenges in the telecom space, which contributes almost 33% of Tech Mahindra's revenues. In fact, the firm expects margins to face headwinds before benefiting from improvements in employee pyramid and subcontracting costs. But let's go across and see the results first. According to Eaton estimates, the results were largely in line though. The revenue saw an uptick of 1% on a sequential basis. The PAT saw an uptick of 28% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. The EBIT came in it was up 16% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, and the margins came in at 18.5% versus 6.8% on a sequential basis. Now the deal wins stand at $554 million USD. The constant currency growth is at 0.7% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. The attrition is at 10%. UBS is maintaining a sell on Tech Mahindra. They've also hiked the target price to 1,250 rupees, and so is Citi, that is maintaining a sell on Tech Mahindra and hiked the target price to 1,260 rupees. So sell call coming in on Tech Mahindra. Right now it's currently picked up from those days lowest point, but currently trading flat.
Okay, let's move on to the next stock, then Texmaco Real. Junaid, that's the one you picked out for us. What is the reason behind this being in focus?
Well, yes, so the company will be acquiring 100% of Jindal Rail Infrastructure Limited, that is JRIL, for 615 crores. The company is valuing JRL valuation at 8.1 times of its EV EBITDA, and it expects about 60 days for the completion of financial acquisition. Now, if you talk more about JRIL, then it manufactures commodity specific purpose wagons. Management on this acquisition said that they are exponentially this acquisition will exponentially boost their participation in domestic as well as international markets, and this will open their opportunities into new product line forays. Also, company was earlier at Titina where they said that they are looking to at least add about 20 to 25% overall on top line. But let's just actually go on to the management and let's see what they had to say.
This synergy we feel are going to place us very substantially in a solid position globally as well as in the domestic field, and we would like to grow from here. Of course, it is going to add in our top line so significantly, and it has enough opportunity to grow further. This is a business which is giving us back the return from the day one, and there is no capex to be infused at present. When you have a more augmented procurement of rolling stocks, be it freight or passenger rolling stock, it calls for a good component ecosystem. So there is a provision definitely to make a huge opportunity for a component cluster. Texmaco is uniquely placed because it has a huge legacy and a good customer base in other continents like Europe, Africa, Russia, and now the Middle East is opening up. So we feel that we can bring in a much bigger product portfolio or a value to the whole rail value chain.
All right, let's move on then. Ruchit, let's talk about IndiaMart Intermesh. How is this one looking on the charts to you actually? Because of late we've seen a lot of analysts actually talk about the stock. So it is still looking good?
Yes, I think the stock has went through a decent consolidation phase. If you look at some historical data, then since the month of October, the stock was trending in a range where 2950 acted as a very strong resistance. Now this week, the stock has given a breakout above that 2950 resistance. The volumes are also decent. So I think because it has gone through a lot of significant consolidation phase, I think the stock could do well in the near term. 3200 is where the stock could head higher in the short term, whereas 2900 is expected to act as a support now.
Surely keeping an eye out on those levels over there. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Keeping it going with all the buzzing stocks in trade today, we have SJVN that is in focus and flying away in trade after they have received a letter of intent from the government of Mizoram for allotment of the Darzo Lui pump storage project. Now, this marks SJVN's first venture in the state as well, and this storage project which they have received will have an installed capacity of 2,400 megawatts that is proposed to be developed there, as well as which is obviously near the Tuipui River, and the project is estimated cost is around 13,947 crores. So large project that they have received. This is in Mizoram that they will be developing from the government of Mizoram. They've received this project, and that is why the stock is up 7.7% in trade.
All right, in excess of 7% gain coming in for SJVN, but put the spotlight on MGL, that's Mahanagar Gas, because this one also is gaining in today's trading session. At one point in time, it was trading higher by 3%. Now it is at day's highest point, 4.7% uptick coming in for MGL. The company reported a 23% drop in Q1 consolidated net profit, but Jefferies is of the view that Mahanagar Gas's volumes growth is superior compared to peers such as Indraprastha Gas. They're saying that the operating profit was ahead of the estimates due to lower gas costs as well as rise in overall volumes. Therefore, they're maintaining a buy stance on MGL with a target price that they have hiked to about 1,990 rupees per share. This because they are citing a valuation discount to IGL. Also, they have gone ahead and flagged that the margin pressure due to fall in administered price mechanism as well, which is the gas price set by the government. So that could be a headwind, but nevertheless, Jefferies is maintaining a buy stance, hike the target price for MGL.
Okay, but Ruchit, what's your view on MGL as well? Are you expecting a further upside? Already seeing a run up for this stock, trading at a multi-year high level. What is the word on this one?
So I think this is a continuation of the uptrend. Recently, we have seen a very good price volume action in the month of June, where previous swing high breakouts were there. Then it went through some consolidation, and again the momentum has resumed. So technically, this is a breakout from a bullish flag pattern. Quite possible the target that you just mentioned between 1950 to 2000, I think that can be seen in short to medium term in MGL. So momentum looks quite positive. The stock may head further higher from current levels.
All right, moving on then. Ankita, AU Small Finance Bank, this one is in focus for multiple news peg, isn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, two news specs coming in there. One is the quarter results. In fact, a good set of results coming in for AU Small Finance Bank, and the other one we'll just talk about. Well, first look at the results then. It has reported a 30% year-on-year increase in the net profits at 502 crores in the first quarter. The NII also jumped 54%. The gross non-performing assets stood at 1.78% in the June quarter as against 1.6% in the March quarter. Now, the net NPA came in at 0.63% against 0.5% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, and bank's PPOP or the pre-provisioning operating profit saw a year-on-year growth of 81%, reaching 988 crores compared to 546 crores in Q1 FY24. Now, the net interest margin, the NIM for quarter one of FY25 stood at 6%. So that's the word coming in on the result front. But let's look at the other piece of news. Now, AU Small Finance Bank's Managing Director Sanjay Agarwal has said that the lender will apply for a universal bank license to the Reserve Bank of India next month. Now, in his words, the board has decided to go for a universal license and approved the constitution of a committee which will be headed by Chairman H.R. Khan. Now, the committee with the other three members will oversee the application process, and the RBI, remember, in April had invited applications for small banks, who meet the specified criteria, including a minimum net worth of 1,000 crores to become a regular or a universal bank. So, AU Small Finance Bank will be applying for that.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that one. But on that note, we're going to step into a very short break. And as we go into break, listen into Adani Energy Solutions, who reported a 47% increase in terms of revenue from operations in the first quarter. EBITDA rose almost 30%, while the profits grew 73%. The company's transmission business has a strong pipeline under construction project worth 17,000 crores. Let's hear out the CEO. Kandar Patel, who said, where is the way forward? What is the way forward for the company? Listen in.
Good afternoon and best wishes to all the viewers. I am happy to share that Adani Energy Solutions today has reported a strong result for quarter ending June 30, 2024. But before I get to the financial numbers, I would like to share that board has approved carving out of Dahanu thermal power plant, and as a result, company has reported an exceptional impairment in terms of asset waiting for sale of amount rupees 1506 crore. Our objective behind carving out of Dahanu thermal power plant, which we inherited as a part of our Mumbai Discom acquisition, is in line with our pursuit of decarbonization of business and will help us achieve our net zero target by 2050. This will be subject to required regulatory approvals. By doing so, we will get closer to our aspiration to be among the top 20 global utility companies in ESG rating, and this will enable engagement of ESG focused funds with AESL. I am also pleased to share that AESL has received an ESG score of 25.3 from Sustainalytics in their research assessment, which has placed us one among the top 30 global utilities. The financial numbers I will be sharing are adjusted for this exceptional item to reflect the actual performance of AESL. As far as operational update is concerned, the transmission segment, as usual, has been doing very well. This was another strong quarter of operational performance with an average system availability of more than 99.7%. The strong line availability has led to an incentive income of 30 crore during this quarter. During this quarter, the company also completed an acquisition of Mahan Ispat transmission asset, thereby adding 673 circuit kilometer to its operational network. The company also added 190 circuit kilometer during this quarter and ended up with a total transmission network of in excess of 20,000 circuit kilometers. As far as distribution segment is concerned, in line with the robust demand trend across the country, energy demand in Mumbai distribution in first quarter of 25 has also increased by 7.5%. The distribution losses at AEML has been improving consistently and now stands at 5.18% in quarter one. And we have also maintained supply reliability at the over 99.9%. The units sold in our Mundra utility has also increased to 226 million units in the first quarter of 25 as against 133 million units of last year. This is
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.